On the last exciting episode of AxoniusRex, we saw a dire future in which future Trunks tries to go back in time but can't and is caught off guard and killed by Timebreaker Gohan. His daughter jumps through the portal that the Timebreaker came in and lands in the past. Trying to fit in, she joins the Orange Star Academy and becomes a time patroller to fight alongside her father Trunks, who can never know who she really is. She joins up with Tapion to go against the combined might of the supervillains to fend off the resurrection of Hirudegarn.
Did you go back and check on the others?
After settling in, she goes to Hercule's house and finds Saiyaman 1 and 2. There she finds a friend in the masked Videl, and then she becomes her training partner. She tests her skill in a one-on-one fight in the World Tournament stage so that they can test each other's skills and see what each other can do. After their fight, she goes into an expert mission and tests her newfound power against the might of Perfect Cell. Backing Cell into a corner with her fierce onslaught of Dai missile barrages, she forces him to turn into a supervillain. In the climax of this mighty clash of titans, she charges up her most ultimate attack, a Super Spirit Bomb, and enters a violent beam struggle with Perfect Cell, who cannot cope with her immense power and is disintegrated at the atomic level. Later, she returns to the Time Nest and is confronted with Toppo, who invites her to train in hopes of joining the Pride Troopers. Arriving on the Kai planet, she sees a strange tubby grey margin. The fight starts right away with insane intensity, testing both of their skills. They seem evenly matched in power and strength until it's apparent that he was toying with her the entire time, and that his strength is far beyond her comprehension. Trying every trick in the book, she's caught off guard and completely humiliated in every way. Using her final ultimate attack, she uses a Soul Punisher, which has absolutely no effect on him. He catches her off guard and ends the fight. He sees she is rough around the edges, but acknowledges her great potential and agrees to take her on as a partner in the Pride Troopers. She is the new initiate in a group of warriors fighting for justice called the Pride Troopers. To see what she's really capable of, she goes in a 2-on-2 fight with the male margin against Dispo and Toppo. They all charge up their immense ki and prepare for an immense clash of power. Breaking from their teams into two single fights, she fights off against Dispo, while the male margin is preoccupied with Toppo. The strength of the male margin and Toppo are matching each other perfectly blow for blow. The female human is completely blitzed by Dispo's speed, who catches her off guard every single time. Starting to adapt mid-fight, she starts to read Dispo's linear movements and ends up being able to counter-attack and launch an offensive of her own. All four of them outputting so much raw destructive power that each clashing blow, each block, every landed strike shakes the very earth beneath them. And just like that, the fight stopped. Meanwhile, in the future, in a distant timeline, Trunks is finding out that Gohan has been killed brutally by androids 17 and 18 and launches into a fit of rage, turning into a Super Saiyan.
What are you saying? You know you're not allowed to do that, Trunks.
The memories that haunt this version of Trunks end up being a time patroller and then go on to save the life of Gohan, preserving his role in that timeline. This decision will have dire consequences. In the future, it turns out that Zamasu has switched bodies with Gohan instead of Goku. Here enters Gohan Black. Teleporting down in Capsule Corp, he quickly fights Goku and then decimates him with an Aura Slide. Wasting no time, he also blitzes Piccolo and knocks him out with a single Ki Blast. After being given orders from the Supreme Kai of Time, our female human and male margin enter this corrupted timeline. Eager to see what she's really capable of, our male margin hangs back and watches the fight to see what she'll do. They both charge up to max power and waste no time getting into the fight. She fights bravely, valiantly against Gohan Black, who keeps powering up gradually and overpowering her. Increasing his speed and showing her more and more the gap in their power. Out of nowhere drops a surprise intruder. Enter Timebreaker Gohan. Knowing how serious this really is, our male Margin enters the fight and powers up to his maximum strength. Enter Super Saiyan Rose Gohan Black. Timebreaker Gohan wastes no time showing the true extent of his devastating power. The male Margin has his hands full fighting off against Super Saiyan Rose Gohan Black. Meanwhile, Timebreaker Gohan is making light work of our female human who could do nothing to stop his onslaught. The memory of Trunks' death at the hands of this formidable Timebreaker is enough to scare her out of her mind, and she's unable to fight and gets trapped within her own consciousness. Unable to carry on without fighting her inner demon, she's confronted with an avatar of her previous self. This avatar, the embodiment of her combined rage and anger over the death of her father, is something she has to overcome to become the fighter she knows she can be. Using all of her combined willpower and emotional energy, she pours everything into a Super Spirit Bomb to decimate her opponent. Letting go of her anger and using all of her strength, she defeats the avatar and starts to unravel the memories of her father's death. Confronted with the avatar of her self-doubt, she has to fight against another replica of herself to advance in this fight. All the negativity, every moment of self-doubt and all of her inner neuroses evaporates within the fire. Her will burning even stronger, she unlocks more memories of Trunks' death and defeats the embodiment of her self-doubt. Now is the moment for her to fight off against the avatar of her internal sorrow. Every passing avatar is increasing in speed, power, technique and tenacity. She has to increase her own abilities so that she can fight off these inner demons and regain that sense of self she lost in the future. Pouring all of her heart into a Kamehameha, she blows away the current avatar. Unlocking yet more painful memories, she sees the moment Trunks is about to be killed. The final avatar, the avatar of fear, is the last opponent she has to fight before she can rejoin the battle and reclaim whatever part of herself she lost when Trunks was killed. She is her strongest opponent, she is her strongest ally. The one she can call upon or the one who can destroy her entirely. Fighting with every fragment of the heart she has left, she pours every bit of strength into the fight and catches the last avatar off guard, putting everything into one final gigantic sword and uncovering the final memories of Trunks' death. Fear, self-doubt, anger, sorrow, everything washes away, eroding the barriers before her to make way for something new. Something stronger, something better. She regains her consciousness just at the moment the male Margin decimates Super Saiyan Rose Gohan Black with a barrage of super strong finger ki blasts. He steps back so that she can fight one-on-one against Timebreaker Gohan. After suffering through her sorrow, after defeating her self-doubt and decimating her rage and finally overcoming her immense fear, her strength has skyrocketed beyond comprehension. Her focus is on a new level. Every part of her is engaged in the fight and she fights with every piece of strength and heart she has. Empowered with a new sense of self, her strength keeps escalating, her speed increasing. Her focus and reflexes sharpening. He starts to overpower Timebreaker Gohan. Without mercy, without fear, she traps him in a spirit sword and sets him up for his final moments. Charging up a times 100 Big Bang Kamehameha, she blows him away into dust. Energized by her recent victory and a renewed sense of self, she travels back to Konton City, but finds that something isn't quite right, because the town is all too quiet. First for the QQ Bang, you're free to make your own, just try and make something that gives you ki and stamina that doesn't retract away from your strikes or ki blasts. The Super Salt is sorry, you are way open there to increase the time of a stamina break and give you temporary ki auto recovery. Now for the attribute points, 100 points will go into your strike supers for additional damage, 84 into stamina for 2 extra bars, 84 into ki for 2 extra bars, 50 points will go into your health and the rest you will dump into your basic attack. Now for the super moves, Divinity Unleash will be your charging move to allow for light speed ki recovery when attacking in battle. Tyrant Lancer will be your first super move to deliver a very quick charge in ki blast that you can use after combos for additional damage. Next is Brave Sword Slash, a move that you can use after a combo to deal additional damage, slicing the air, sending shockwaves that hit the opponent. Your counter move is Pressure Sign to evade all physical and ki blast based damage to snap behind the opponent and deliver a quick surprise kick to the back. Your awoken skill will be Potential Unleash for an even boost to all skills. Your first ultimate will be Spirit Sword, a move that catches your opponent and paralyzes them in a ki blade that then you can use to swing round and slash them twice to deal immense, immeasurable damage that's also flashy and very cool to look at. Finally, times 100 Big Bang Kamehameha will be your finishing move that fires an ultra strong, super overpowered ki blast at your opponent that does more damage if you're not locked on. Lastly, utilizing your immense blue ki, you can use Spirit Explosion to push away all physical and ki blast based attacks in evasive that sends them flying. Now it's time for the damage test. Tyrant Lancer will do 1,901 damage. Brave Sword Slash, if all 5 attacks hit, will do 2,261 damage. Pressure Sign will do 2,263 damage. Your first ultimate, Spirit Sword, will slash the opponent and deal 9,334 damage. Times 100 Big Bang Kamehameha will do an impressive 11,612 damage. While if you're not locked on and really close, you will spin round and do over 15,000 damage. Your full light combo chain will do a pretty respectable 3,752 damage. Your full heavy combo chain will also do quite a respectable 3,237 damage. Your full mixed combo chain will do a nice 4,529 damage. Here is the first of the super damage combos using a 4 heavy 3 light stamina break combination followed by a Brave Sword Slash, flying in with a light stamina break combination cancelling into a Spirit Sword that will end up slashing the opponent with 16,108 damage. The final super damage combo utilizing a quick easy fly-in stamina break combination followed up by a times 100 Big Bang Kamehameha without being locked on does over 15,000 damage. This has been my level 99 phase 5 build for my hybrid build female human character. Stay tuned for the next exciting episode of AxoniusRex.